Hello there, welcome to Team Fortress TV at Dreamhack Winter 2015. It's been an incredible time already and the tournament hasn't even begun. I'm Sideshow. We are here at the Esport United booth at Dreamhack Winter in Sweden, Jönköping. With me is TurboTabs to kick off the event, along with our production crew. The team's in front of me. We've got a range of photos uploaded already. If you guys want to see the kind of setup that we've got here, we've got probably 20 people right now kind of watching, just starting to gather, but the action is just about to kick off, TurboTabs.
Yeah, it really has been a journey of 1,000 miles, and we've been walking every single painful step, but we've finally made it here. Everything, all the pieces have come together, and we are about to see the climax of this
the climax? The climax? We haven't even begun, TurboTabs.
Well, it's the climax of the overall picture.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just to set the scene for you guys, to let you know what you're getting into, this is a 4-team tournament, a 4-team invitational, but it's taking part in the exhibition area of Dreamhack Winter. That, of course, means that if you guys are at Dreamhack or are coming today or tomorrow, then you can find us. We're in the exhibition area. We're in the corner, kind of opposite the Face It booth. We can see over there. The guys keep screaming, so we know they're having a good time. And you can find us in the corner. There's tons and tons of people here, so it'd be great if we could see people at the event. But if you're stuck at home, don't worry, Team Fortress TV has got your back. We are going to be here bringing you the action from now. We're literally just about to start with the first game in a few minutes, and we're going to be running through all the way until about 9 o'clock today. And that's 9 CET, 21 CET, and then we're going to be starting again tomorrow and running through till about 9 again, with the grand final happening tomorrow at about 6 CET. Schedule depending on, you know, delays, whether or not we have all the teams here.
It's LAN, man.
It is. Anything can happen at LAN. And that's not just the results. That's anything can happen at LAN.
Anything can happen.
So as I say, we're here at the Esport United booth. They have kindly provided the area for the TF2 tournament to go down. Absolutely wonderful people. We've got a $4,000 prize pool as well, kindly sponsored by Marketplace.tf. Big, huge shout out to those guys as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic stuff. So all the players are trickling in. These two teams are sat down, ready to go, and it's looking like a hell of an event and a pretty decent game to start us off with as well, TurboTabs.
Yeah, the tournament's just going to be no major surprises, just regular 6v6 rule set, EU rule sets. We're going to be playing the similar map pool played in Season 22 of ETF12, except one little change. What is that change, Sideshow?
One little change, and that is CP Gravel Pit is in the map pool. It's been a controversial decision. I hold my hands up. It's all my fault. However, I think it'll be a super exciting map. I'll leave it up to the spectators to decide, and the players, of course, as well. But it will actually be featured in this first fixture as well. So I thought it'd be you know, a less popular choice with the players, but we're already seeing it in the first fixture. We'll see if that trend carries on. Kind of doubt it, but we'll see anyway. So anyway, yeah, that map has been replaced for Sunshine. So if you guys are thinking about the map pool, and there's a map pick and ban system as well that our casters and analysts are going to be talking about, and making sure that you guys understand what's going on, what goes into this kind of you know, the chess game of every before they even start, before they even get in the server. There's mind games going on, TurboTabs.
Yeah, it's not quite like your regular league or ETF12 or even Razor Cup where the maps are just given to you. Teams actually get to decide which maps they get to ban as well as pick. And then after all that banning process, they do get left with one final map that neither team chose, but what's left over. And I think Gravel Pit will probably hold that spot quite nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of these games are going to be best of 3, and then we have a best of 5 grand final as well, which is going to be taking place later on tomorrow. So keep tuning into the stream. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. But our first fixture, TurboTabs, is going to be Lego against swedeRage. And I'm required to make sure that goes smoothly. So I'm going to pass it off to our analyst and co-caster for TurboTabs for this fixture. It's going to be Kaidus.
Kaidus, where is Kaidus?
Yeah, absolutely. Here is Kaidus, though, who plays, of course, for Reason Gaming. I'm sure you guys all know him. And he is going to talk along with TurboTabs about the fixture. And I'm going to make sure that these guys go live with our first map, which is going to be Snake Water.
Step up, Kaidus. Don't worry, I'll be gentle. Welcome, Kaidus. Welcome to the cast. Bet you've already heard from Sideshow. This is swedeRage versus Lego.
Yep.
What do you think of this matchup so far?
I think it's going to be a really interesting game, actually, because, I mean, both of these teams, they're relatively new rosters. I mean, swedeRage is brand new, and Lego is an existing roster that's made several changes. But, I mean, we haven't really seen them in action like of this level before. They've never really competed in any like serious scenario. They've just been practicing like over the last few weeks for this event. I think it's going to be interesting though. Like, I see LEGO as being probably one of the stronger teams coming into the event. I would probably expect them to take this series eventually. I mean, I don't think it's going to be clear cut for them. It's going to be like an interesting game, but I mean, they've got F2 back, which means they're kind of reverted almost in a little bit to their old style where they slow things down quite a lot. I mean, we've got the vetoes. We know that the first map is going to be Snakewater, which is the LEGO pick, which suggests they're definitely going to try and go for this kind of approach. Like, obviously against a brand new team, they want to play a map that isn't like Badlands, one of these maps where, you know, everyone automatically knows how to play it. They want one of the slightly more like newer, previously a custom map that Valve obviously adopted, but one of the maps where they can slow things down and just play things at their pace and not let kind of like the DM-oriented play of swedeRage reign supreme.
Yeah, a big factor of that in Snakewater is that last point. That last point, once you dig your heels in, it is very difficult to tear it off that opposing team. If you don't know who we're talking about over on the LEGO side, I'll quickly run through the rosters here. We've got Condom on Medic, Dr. Phil on Demoman, I believe it's F2 on Pocket, we've got Josh on Roma, and the two scouts will be Hellberg and Airon.
Yep.
What a team. But over on the other side of things, we have swedeRage. That will be Tech on Pocket. Roma will be Devik. Very long time since we've seen Devik on Roma. That'll be interesting to see. We've also got Beta subbing in for Kos over on Medic for this match only probably. And their two scouts will be Bevan making his big return, as well as the infamous Flippy.
Yep.
Or should we say Flippy will be playing Sniper, and then maybe off-classing the scout. But I have been told we will be going live very, very soon, so I'm just going to quickly squeeze out a prediction from you, Kaidus, on this Snakewater map.
On this map, I'm pretty sure, I got a feeling LEGO are going to take it. I don't think swedeRage are going to have the cohesion to really compete on a map like Snakewater. I think when we get over to Badlands, their pick on the second map, that's when we're going to start to see them shine, because you can really like unleash the deathmatch power they have. But on Snakewater, it's going to be all about cohesion, and I'm going to say it's going to be something like, I'm not sure, they're going to take a few rounds, maybe like 5-2, 6-2, this kind of scoreline. Maybe closer, but that's what I guess.
Well, I'm going to go devil's advocate there. I am a big fan of Bevan. These old names, these names where I was cheering them on myself when I was just a lowly little dipshit, 6 like noob. And I think they're going to take it away on the Snakewater map, crush their hopes, and it's going to be like a 4-1 sweep, just about.
I'm actually going to take mine back a little bit. I still think LEGO are going to win, but I think 5-2, 6-2 is probably thinking like too big of a scoreline. I think it's probably going to be maybe a lower scoring game, maybe like a 3-2, 4-2, 3-1, like around there, like a LEGO victory, but small margins and relatively low scoring.
Well, either way, I'm sure it'll be very, very exciting. We are just waiting for the players to just get roughly set up here. I think they'll be going live quite soon. What else could you tell me about Snakewater, Kaidus? Is there anything, like any sort of tools or tricks or tips that you could probably give to the players that will give them the edge over one another?
I think the mids are going to come a lot down to how the swedeRage scouts are playing, because I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of this team, but from what I've seen, the scouts tend to play quite loose. They are going forward a lot and not always necessarily playing the correct, not the correct, but the traditional positional game. So you might see LEGO able to exploit this on the mid fights. The fact that the scouts aren't going to be controlling high ground as much, they're going to be looking to be more directly aggressive. So I think LEGO are probably going to be able to exploit this to some extent. So
directly from their sort of play style, it will just like factor into the fact that it will just play straight into LEGO's hands, really. Especially at least on Snakewater. Maybe over on Badlands, like you said, it might play it more into them. But I guess that's really why they did pick those certain maps. Now we have gone live in real time. We're just waiting for the 90-second delay just to make sure that they just don't hear our words, Kaidus. If I scream out spy, they don't just go like, there's a spy team, we need to watch out. No spoilers here. So I'm just going to get set up on the camera here, and hopefully the computer doesn't break. Things are going okay. It looks like the players are already set up. They've already launched ahead. We're just buying as much time as possible.
Yeah, I think like on the mids, you're going to see LEGO play like they're not going to like go in directly. Like you're probably going to see Josh, who's playing Roma this time. He used to be the pocket for this team, but with F2 coming in, they decided to put him on Roma and have F2 pocket and control the core of the team. You're probably going to see Josh do something like go into the enemy kitchen and delay a lot. The scouts are going to play quite passive on high ground. It's going to be all about just controlling the space. And I think they're basically probably going to wait for the swedeRage guys to like make a move and trying to exploit like the overextensions they're going to make and the positional mistakes that you would expect from like a brand new team. So I think that's what we're going to see from LEGO. On the swedeRage side, they're probably just going to try and crack out the snipers like ASAP as soon as they get away from mids. But I mean, we saw when Flippy was playing for TF2 Center recently before that team folded. we actually saw Flippy sniping on Snakewater mid, so I don't know if we're going to see that today, but if things are not going well, it's probably an option he'll probably at least consider.
Well, here we are. We finally made it. This is our first map of Dreamhack. Are you hyped, Kaidus?
Yeah.
Right, let's see what's going to go on this mid. I'm just going to whiz straight to the middle here, and I'm going to see if we can catch some demo man action here. Let me see if I can quickly find anybody. If I can... Oh, it's loaded to be so slow. Finally made it to the mid, and what the first thing I see on mid is a big bomb coming in from Vic. He's gone hugely aggressive onto the Lego roster, but they've just neutralized him immediately. Bevan has been taken out as well. So far, they've only really lost Josh on the actual sort of mid-fight there, and it seems that Lego are pushing into second off the back of that pick, Kaidus, and now even Flippy gets picked off on that second. Tech wants to still hold on to it, though. He does get a nice little air shot onto F2, but it doesn't quite do enough damage, and they're just going to pick up the easiest second of their life, Kaidus. What went wrong on that mid?
Well, this is essentially, I think, what I predicted. I mean, we saw Tvig go in immediately aggressive. I think they lost 2 players straight away. Lego were all on their side of the map, just playing like safe positions, like high ground, controlling space. And yeah, basically, swedeRage just jumped in. Tvig was like the first one in way too deep, nowhere near the rest of his team, and they just cleaned up the frags. I mean, swedeRage backed out, but I mean, they got caught out again on 2 with Flippy overextending, and now we're seeing Lego push into last, and they've got a full, I think they have a full advantage, or did the medic survive?
Yeah, I believe the Uber has... Oh, they actually managed to just get that Uber just in time to defend that last point. Okay, and we will just have a few technical difficulties, but I'm sure we'll just clear that up any second now. Over on the meantime, though, they have defended last successfully, the swedeRage, and now they're just fully capping out second. That was a disaster, the last push, but it was due to the safety net of that Uber that Beta was able to hold on to towards the end. So, over on this middle fight, let's see if they can hold a successful defense against this sort of counter-attack coming out from swedeRage. You see Vic taking the high ground already, just pushing them out with the sheer amount of spam from Tech and Vic combined. Dr. Phil is finally backed out with his team. Over on the side of their defense, they're just kind of like sitting back for now. I think they will have a slight disadvantage. Yes, they've actually been forced. Beta's been brought down to just about 8 HP just from the sheer amount of spam from Lego themselves. And I guess they will claim second, but it's not exactly the result they wanted, Kaidus.
No, definitely not a clean entry. I mean, they got forced really, really early on grass. They do actually manage to take over the point. I think they're going to get the cap down, but I mean, they lost Flippy on entry, and they managed to take Hellbug down. So they're actually going to have some space in lobby. I mean, I'm not 100% sure how the Ubers stand because we have a few technical difficulties at the moment. But I mean, I think the medic of Lego has survived, so they're going to have the option to push lobby. They actually find Tvik straight away and Bevan. So they've got.
I think they've still got the Uber.
Yeah, this is like really poor play by the scout and roamer of swedeRage. I mean, I'm not sure what they were doing in upper lobby. I mean, there's nothing you can do from that position. You're just right in front of them. Like, you're not doing anything sneaky. You're just in the way to be cleaned up. And I mean, I don't think Beta had to pop coming out there. I mean, I don't think Condom had to pop, rather.
No, pop. He has popped. He has not popped so far, but it has delayed a lot of time, and it has allowed Beta to finally get his Uber back up. So we will probably see a bit of a stalemate going on in this Snakewater match, but this is playing probably right into Lego's hands. This is what they're very comfortable with, even though they are in the back foot so far, sitting on their second. Yep. Tech is just peeking his way through, seeing if he can just buy a little space for his team. Even see Bevan backing him up there. Tech has finally forced out the Uber from them. It was they did have to use their own Uber to make that Uber come out. F2 and Josh and everybody's just cleaning up kills right behind them. It just seems like Beta and Flippy were just completely distracted, all that. And oh, what a disastrous push. Even Beta's going to be the last one to die. He's probably going to get that very delayed respawn timer for his team.
That was some really questionable play by swedeRage. I'm not entirely sure why they opted to go for the direct Uber trade. I mean, they have a sniper, and when you have a sniper in a stalemate, especially Snakewater 3-2, you would expect them to drag that out and like try and use the sniper to their advantage, find a pick on a key class before pushing, or at least find a pick and do a counter-sack or something like this. I mean, when you just do a straight-up Uber trade when you have a sniper, you're losing so much firepower in the post-Uber situation. I mean, that Uber exchange was really close. It wasn't like Flippy had a long sideline to play with. The fight was all happening around train and grass, so I mean, when you're down a scout in a big DM fight, you don't really have much chance. So I don't really understand the strategy that swedeRage were employing there. But yeah, they find themselves on the last now, down on Uber, so the gun's going up. They basically have to dig their heels in and hope they can hold it.
Well, it seems like some of these old gems have learned a trick or two from these previous seasons. Not all of them are superly new, so they know the idea that getting these off classes up on Snakewater is vital to holding on to this last point. They've both got a heavy weapons guy and an engineer. That's pretty much, it's like 7v6 at that point with that sentry gun. They can just switch off from that class and then just come back up as a scout, ready for the push out. Flippy's sentry gun has actually taken out F2, who was probably going for a slight little pick onto Beta, but I don't think it's going to happen today for Lego. Looks like they're pushing in on the right-hand side, seeing if they can peek away, but they've actually gone down to the heavy. I think that was a combination with the sticky trap as well, and they've even got another extra pick onto Hellberg. This is bad news bears for Lego. They just have to promptly back out and kind of hold a defensive posture for this second.
This is really, really bizarre play. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how they lost these two players or what they were trying to do, but now they lose them both. They back out all the way onto the left and completely give up balcony. I mean, it looks like they're resolving the situation now, keeping control of that right side balcony, but I mean, essentially they just said to swedeRage, just walk out. Like, they weren't putting up any aggression, and now Vic and Tech are in. They're getting a frag each. I mean, frags have been traded back and forth, but the Ubers come out from Lego much, much earlier. Beater's milking on the point only just now as he forced to pop, and Dr. Phil is in deep, and I don't think he's getting out of there. If he does, it's a huge misstep, but they do frag him. Flippy was on... I think Flippy was on last, looking for the back cap, or...
it was actually Josh.
Sorry, yeah, Josh was on last.
Yeah, Josh was looking for the back cap, but good God, thank God for sentry guns. That he did actually got the kill onto Flippy, but the sentry gun did save it from that potential back cap there. And I think they kind of knew that. You didn't see any of Lego dedicating to block that second point, which was probably wise. They will get the middle for now, and but it's still 0 apiece so far, Kaidus.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty even game, but I mean, looking at it, I would say that I would have expected Lego to have taken a round at this point. I mean, they've had the opportunities. I just think they've misplayed it in the vital situations. swedeRage kind of probably getting lucky to be still at an even score at the moment. They kind of need to, I think they need to adjust some things, the way they're approaching their pushes particularly. I mean, now we're seeing Lego take a very defensive posture. I mean, they're not really looking to hold on to this too. They're just playing from lobby. They're maybe just trying to play the time. I mean, they're getting Uber like just now, so they have the option to go for a trade if they want. But the combo is really, really far back for swedeRage, so that's actually giving them an opening to walk in. We're seeing the Uber pop now. It's a good trade, actually a really good trade for Lego. Airon just getting in and finding 2 frags as the Ubers are popped. I mean, this is an even Uber trade, regardless of the fact Airon got 2 frags. I mean, Flippy takes 1 back, but I mean, they're trading back and forth, but I think this looks really good for Lego. But
actually, the turnaround, it seems, coming out from swedeRage. They're angry, Kaidus. They want blood, and they've got Dr. Phil in his sights. He's very low. He does pick up the health back. Will it delay the inevitable? He is surviving for such a long time. Can they just kind of scramble them together? No, the focus fire of Tech and the other soldier does take him out. F2 does come back, but he's just way too late into the fight. It seems back to last that Lego will go. It seems Bevan is also even trying to bite off just a little bit more he can chew here, but you know, once all those players have respawned on Snakewater, it's very difficult to just kind of get away with that sort of play, just getting free ground on that right-hand side.
Yeah, it's a smart decision not to push here. I mean, they look like they had numbers for a moment on the scoreboard, but you have to think about where the spawn waves are coming in. The Lego spawn wave is obviously coming in exactly where the fight is going to take place, whereas swedeRage have to, like, there's an extra 10 seconds or so all their classes have to walk before they can actually get anywhere near the fight, so it's a smart decision for them to wait. It's kind of at odds with the style of play we've seen from them so far, where they're taking a lot of the risky, aggressive plays and not necessarily always the most efficient.
Oh, I think we've got a spy, Kaidus. I think you're quite the spy expert yourself playing Highlander. Will he actually... Oh, the heel! Oh, no, he misses the backstab. He's trying to get caught. He gets him anyway! How does he not notice that? Good God, the blunder of the sentry. Will this cost them the round, Kaidus? It seems they're doing a good job of just, like, scraping what they can, but the kills are going towards swedeRage's favour. They have got those sticky on the point, and that is delaying a lot of time for them. Dr. Phil is doing so well, kiting them around, and we have a pause. Well... what a time to pause, Kaidus. What a time.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously this is not where it's paused in real time. In the actual game, the round is going to be over already, or there will be a stalemate if this push is not proved successful. Yeah, I mean, that's a really strange situation we just witnessed. I don't really know how Tech made that play work, to be honest. Like, he went in, he had a fail stab, he was getting healed. I really can't even fathom how he managed to pull that off, but I mean, I think his team not really capitalizing on it, like, based on what we've seen of this push so far. I mean, they kind of lost people on entry. I mean, when a medic drops, it's normally like if you push really fast, because the defensive team is set up in such a way that they think they have Uber, so they take like various positions that are safe if you have Uber. When suddenly that Uber's out of the equation and the other team has it, if you just push quickly, you catch all of these people. They're completely out of position at that point when the Uber's gone. So, I mean, not necessarily the best push we're seeing so far from swedeRage based on what Tech just achieved for them.
And what I've noticed, well, is like players are playing so selfishly. No one wants to just take one for the team and just take out those stickies. It's like if you look at the point right now, I don't think the carpet of stickies isn't like efficiently laid. They could probably just focus the point at that point and just kind of force them out of their base, force them out of their comfort zone. We will find out in the meantime, though. But we get to play my favorite game, Kaidus. You know what that game is? It's what will happen next.
I'm just trying to take a look. Where is I'm just trying to see where the third blue player is. Where is he hanging out?
Let me see. We'll just use our superior technology. I'm just going to float over here.
Oh, he's on middle, so that's not very good for them. I mean,
he's a respawner.
Yeah, they're actually. I mean, the Uber is on at the moment, but they're in a 3v2 on last, and only one of those players is a combat class, and Trick is a gumbo soldier, so he's really not going to have any chance in the world of making this work. I mean, almost all the players for Lego are healthy. I mean, F2 is on half, but he's near spawn. He's probably. I think Vic's going to be lucky to get a frag here, let alone win the fight. Beater's probably going to be able to get out based on his position at the moment. If he leaves as soon as this unpauses for us, if he's leaving straight away, he's probably going to be able to get out, meet Beaver, and start building. I mean, I'm not sure. I doubt they're not going to get any Uber advantage out of this. We're probably going to see this reset to another stalemate. I don't think any team's really going to have a chance to make anything of this situation.
It is quite blunderous because I don't think Condom's going to fall for that mistake twice. What happened there? It looked like, on our screens anyways, that he healed the spy for a second, and then he was looking right at him when he went for the stab.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, maybe someone hasn't set up the combo quite right, and maybe they've got like 70 field of view or something like that.
That was a 75 moment. I mean, from our perspective, we had it in third person, so we didn't necessarily see exactly what Condom saw, but what we saw was we just saw like him heal him, and then Tech going for like the side stab, whiffing, and then presumably he should have like noticed at that point, because he would have suddenly the heal beam would have broken. You can't heal an undisguised spy, so he should have. There was about 5 moments in there where I really would have expected him to notice that it's a spy, but this is Condom we're talking about, so I'm not sure how the meme goes.
Oh, poor Condom. He does get a lot of flack from the community, and this is what happens when those medics like enter up that just that initial line of prem. That of course they're going to get that beating up, and people are going to call into question of how did they get there, why are they even there. But I think Condom has been doing better, than his his haters, I guess you could say, are saying.
Yeah, but of course, all the haters out there at the moment will probably be relishing the fact that 10 minutes into his LAN debut, he's dropped an Uber in a hilarious fashion. So, I don't know, that's an interesting factoid. But yeah, not factoid, it's a fact.
Yeah. Well, we've only been a few minutes into the game so far. Has anyone impressed you over on the game, Kaidus? Anyone from, say, swedeRage, for example? Has anyone jumped out at you?
Nothing's particularly stuck out. Obviously, the spy play from Tech was
quite genius.
Probably the play of the game so far, but I mean it's more of the misplay of the game so far because it's really that's down to Condom and rather than Tech's like spy prowess. The players kind of stuck out, I guess. If I had to pick anyone, would be Airon. I mean, nothing really came of it, but I mean there was an Uber trade where Lego pushed out onto that, like they were trying to contest their own second from lobby before it got capped. And as they traded the Ubers, I mean, Airon was in and got 2 frags straight away. I mean, somehow Lego lost that fight. I don't really understand how, because the Uber trade was dead even. I mean, no one really flashed it around, and the Ubers were relatively even in terms of that, but Airon got 2 frags like as that happened, so really it was a 6v4 scenario as the Ubers faded. I don't really know how Lego couldn't capitalize on that and actually ended up back on their own last in the end. But I mean, that's like, I don't know, Airon's been getting frags, that's the thing I've noticed. And Airon is a player who he made his Prem debut last season. He played a pretty good season relatively to what people expected. I mean, it wasn't like an all-star like impressing like compared to like the likes of Stark or so, but I mean, for a Prem debutant who no one really rated going into the season, he's definitely impressed. And I mean, well, 10 minutes into his LAN debut, as far as I know, at least his like a high-profile LAN debut, and he's doing good.
It's kind of interesting, I guess, the two different, formats that these teams have kind of made up of themselves. Over on Lego, it's like a team of friends, really, that have just kind of banded together, and you really see that teamwork and like cooperation between them, whilst over on swedeRage it's just literally an all-star lineup clumped together at the last second to just see if they could just sweep the prize pool underneath people's feet.
Yeah, and that's going to be like the thing about swedeRage. It's how well can they play together, because I mean no one sticks out in that roster as a natural leader or caller. I mean when we've seen kind of like the likes of Tech and Flippy in the successful teams, they were always surrounded by players like, I mean, Bull was always kind of the voice of the combo. And like they would have like an active voice on the flank, like in Nerd Rage, Flippy was playing with Stark, who's a very, very active voice on the flank. Like when I look at them, I'm not entirely sure who that voice would be. I mean, I suppose it would be the King of Squirrels if he hadn't missed his flight. He's probably the most vocal player on there roster, and they're currently missing him. And like, while people might not rate him as a top medic, he's probably a slightly more efficient medic than Beta, but more importantly, he is a loud voice on the team that whether he's making correct calls or incorrect calls, or whether you think they're correct or incorrect, and it's not really the thing. It's more about he is a loud voice, and in TF2, in a LAN environment, it's something that you really can't underrate. Just having someone who's willing to take charge and take responsibility for the players on his team, and kind of like just that voice keeps things together when otherwise it may not. So I think they're kind of missing that voice at the moment, or at least based on the first few minutes we've seen. I mean, there's been clearly some situations where not everyone's been playing together, so...
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I bet if you're looking at all the players, the only person I can pick out, and believe it or not, is Beta, the Merc for the team. Maybe if he could just, like, turn on bite mode, I suppose, and just wrangle his player and literally micromanage them to every single thing. But usually these players don't really respond well to that. Usually better just to set them free, just set them on mix mode and just let them, like, DM their way into the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably how most of them are comfortable, to be fair. I mean, Bevan was never a scout to be tied down. I mean, I played with him in the past, and our team probably wasn't the most successful, and one of the reasons for that was because we tried to play too tight and too, like, assigned roles, whereas a scout like Bevan, he's very much, like, reactive and sees opportunities and kind of goes for them in a DM-oriented way. And it's similar with Tvick in a way, like, and to an extent, like, a lot of the players, like Flippy and Tech, they're all very just reactive, and, like, they play, like, a natural flowing style where the game just occurs as it occurs and it unfolds, and they kind of react to the situations and try to outskill their opponents. I mean, it doesn't take away from the fact that in TF2 you still always need this voice to kind of control the more like specific situations. But I mean, they're not a team where they're not going to want a whole lot of like microing, should we say, or like actual direction. But just like when to push, where to push, what are we in now, are we out, things like that.
Okay, well, I believe we have found some sort of resolve of what we're going to do next with the technical difficulties, but in the meantime, we are still paused for now. We apologise for any sort of inconvenience, but we will get back to it very soon. I do want to bring your attention, though, to what do you think of the team compositions exactly when it comes to the classes? It seems a lot of players...
What do you mean?
Well, over on LEGO, you've got F2 playing Soldier, on Pocket no less. Where did that come from? I think that was we've actually gone live. Oh, sorry, Kaidus.
That's okay.
No time to talk now. I'll give you a nice, interesting question I want to hear the answer to, but the players do not want to have that answered, it seems. So going straight into it, what was the skinny? Both teams are sitting on 0-0 right now. LEGO have just completely just taken it away from the opposing team, and just from that clutch last defense, but they will have another crack at it. Do you think they'll manage to pull it off this time, Kado?
I think they have a good chance. I mean, we won't know until we know. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the Uber situation is at the moment. I mean, I saw Beta chilling on about 40%. I'm not sure if he managed to get any advantage out of that situation or not. Sadly, our spec card is currently failing, so I can't find that information straight away. But it's possible he got a slight advantage, but now Condom actually has Uber at the moment, so they're going to trade it out. Uber's being traded as laptop lags, and we can't really see.
Laptop, please.
But it looks like swedeRage are going for this fast rotation. They're trading Ubers from the left sliding door from our perspective, the defender's perspective, and then immediately rotating to right lobby and stacking that side. Their bodies are coming in now, and they found an early frag. They found an entry. Fit goes down, but that doesn't matter. He gets traded out, but he's the entry man. He gets them in, he makes space, and then suddenly they can come in, and they're collapsing, and they've done damage. They've got frags, and the health is really not looking good at the moment for swedeRage, for LEGO. swedeRage are just collapsing on the point, and I think this is going to be the 1-0.
Yeah, they have just kited them almost perfectly there. It was all based off that one pick. From there, they could just kind of make these trays and just kind of take them time slightly. I know it's Snakewater and they want to rush things about, but if you just keep your cool when it comes to those sorts of situations, you can see that it really does pay off. But the first point will go towards swedeRage. This is not in the stars for LEGO whatsoever. They're expected to win this map, Kaidus. Okay, over onto the mid-fight. Flippy is just kind of trying to get himself behind, see if he can do the biggest flank of his life, but Hellberg has got that covered on his number. They actually pincered off two of LEGO's players in their own kitchen, but the big turnaround from LEGO, you actually see that big flank finally paying dividends, and now you see F2 going aggressive onto Tech. He's been brought down very low, but he makes a very nice trade onto Hellberg. F2 is fighting off against Riv. Tavik has finally made the big wraparound onto Dr. Phil. He's brought them down very, very low. I don't think they could enter the fight, not at this stage, not especially when Tavik just finishes you off from that kitchen area, and yeah, I think the mid-fight will go towards swedeRage, Kato.
Yeah, I mean, the big difference in this one was, I mean, the aggression was still there for swedeRage, but this time it was up. So it wasn't just Vic going in alone. They actually got 2 bodies or more in, and they actually made it messy and made it uncomfortable for LEGO, whereas previously they made it very easy to clean up these early players and then focus on the next one. So they just got in, made it messy, turned it into a DM fight, which is exactly what they want to do. If they can make this messy, scrappy, they have the stronger, like, outright deathmatch, so they should win those engagements more often than not.
On the bright side, though, LEGO there is no sort of uber advantages or disadvantages. Both medics should be roughly around even now if they've been building as efficiently as possible. You do see some slight little picks going out there. Beaver got picked off, and now you even see Josh getting picked off, but Flippy gets punished for his pick. That is the difference. Dr. Phil, they've actually been forced out. What a play by Tavik. I guess if you just throw enough bodies at the wall, Kaidus, you know, it just will hold some slight little results, but either way, that is still like a 3-pick sort of Uber. They do have the respawners in the fact that they have capped off that midpoint. They will have slightly faster and slightly more efficient respawns, and you can see it really paying dividends. They've actually popped off their own Uber. Beta really worried about dropping that off around half HP. They will only have 5 men to hold off the second point. You see them all flooded in from each side. Josh gets creamed, so does Airon. They're completely smashing them and pincering them all over the place. Dr. Phil can't get out, and you even see the biggest flank of Flippy's life. He gets a big fat meat shot onto F2. It's a good thing he had that buff, Kaidus, or he would have gone. And they're still going with this swedeRage. They want more. They want the last point as well, but keep in mind they will have those respawners coming up any second. Tavik is capping the point. They've even got some scouts in there. Oh, but wham! The massive cannonball, I guess, of LEGO was just not quite enough to defend that last point. 2-0 for swedeRage. Does this surprise you, Kaidus?
In a way, but I mean that was kind of sloppy play from LEGO again. I mean, we saw like the Uber came out so much later from swedeRage, and for some reason Airon and Josh were just too far forward. I mean, the combo of LEGO were kind of far away, but once those 2 players went down, Josh and Airon, it was too easy to chase them. And I mean, the follow-up was very, very efficient from swedeRage. They were really fast to chase down the remaining players and just roll on to last.
Okay, we are into our 3rd mid-fight. Both teams are kind of playing it steady so far, although in saying that, Tavik gone for a massive bomb. He gets the bomb onto Condom. That's all the heals gone for LEGO, and now they just have to pick up the pieces. If I was them, I would try and get that med pick, but they're not in any sort of position to do that. You even see Tech defending his medic Beta there, and it seems like even with the lack of King of Squirrels, they're just doing their majesty justice.
Yeah, I mean, that was an impressive mid. I think that's been the most convincing mid we've seen so far. I mean, I didn't actually catch if Condom survived or not, but I mean, yeah, Tavik again, just straight in, the follow-up so swift. I mean, they're just kind of getting pounded at the moment. I mean, I'd be interested to see what Phil is doing next mid, because I feel like there's probably some damage missing at the start. For the follow-up to come this smoothly, there's probably some damage missing, as we do see swedeRage Uber in immediately from lower. I mean, they should probably focus the point now. They're kind of chasing frags in various locations. I really feel like they should have gone for the point in that situation. They do find Airon, and Phil's actually found himself really deep. That's a mistake. Your demo should never be that deep and so vulnerable in such a situation. But Hellbell pulling 2 back, it's actually a relatively even fight, but I mean, the position is not really great for LEGO. Condom on the low ground, not putting heals on anyone of high priority, and they're going to get cleaned up, and this is going to be a 3-0 game. But it's another weird situation. I mean, swedeRage gave them an opportunity to hold it. They didn't focus the point. That was probably the play they should have made, technically the most efficient play. But the vital plays of LEGO were pickable. Dr. Phil was in deep. If they're not focusing the point, your demo man should be safe and surviving. I'd also be interested to see what Phil's doing on this mid, because I mean, like I said, I feel like there's some damage missing for the follow-up to come so smoothly from swedeRage.
Okay, well, let's see. Talking about Phil, let's see what he can actually perform on this fit. He's been immediately rushed down by this scout, and that's effectively taken him out of the fight. But that's okay. He just picks up a health pack. He's right back in there, and he's ready to support his team. But his team has taken a lot of hammer, and they've already lost Bled 2 kills. 3 kills, I should make that. He does make an equalizing sort of pick onto Tech, but I don't think that's going to be enough, especially with Tavik, just completely all over him. And now Condom's trying to get out, just cut his losses where he can. He has been brought down slightly low. Can he just get out in time? I don't think Tavik can chase him. He wants to go for the jump. He's going for it. Can Josh do the big air shot? Oh, he just shoots the ground like a good old soldier should.
Tavik shouldn't have gone for that. Once Condom surfed, he knew the respawns were coming in, but that mid was actually really interesting. I mean, I've been wondering what's been going on, and even though Beaven was the first to die, he ran in, did a lot of damage to Phil, pushed him back completely, which completely opens up the map for Tavik to get in. I mean, there's no early damage on Tavik, so he's jumping in with 300, and there's no spam on the point, no spam on top, so with Tavik going in, Beaven was kind of unlucky to die. I think someone actually rolled out Kitchen, which caught him out, but I mean, it just opens up the map so much. Demos are so important for just preventing such a straight-up rush. But when the scouts all over Phil like that, what can he do? I think Phil probably needs more help on the point next mid. The adaptation I would make if I was in Phil's shoes is I would ask a scout to play quite tight and kind of like focus Bevan down and either frag him easily without trading much damage onto Phil, or at least like just make him unable to do that.
Well, here comes the push. Tech has been knocked completely by those stickies, though, and he's been also launched up into the air, just bullying poor Tech. And they do get a kill onto Airon, but I don't think that's quite enough. Not for a map like Snakewater. They are kind of pressuring Dr. Phil here. He's been juggled, but he's doing a good job of just surviving what he can. Beaver really wants the frag, though. He goes in. He finally gets the kill. F2 being slightly pressured, and you see that swedeRage are completely scattered at this point. Oh, Beaven just surviving by the skin of his teeth, and he wants to go back in. He's blessed his little life, that miracle of a save, and he's just trying to make something of it, but he thinks better of it. It does back off with the rest of his team, especially with those respawners coming out from Lego on that last point.
Yeah, swedeRage were considering repushing for a moment there, but I think they realized they were all lower. Like, they had one player still rolling out from respawn, and I think 4 or 5 of them were all lower, and all the spam from Lego was focused on lower. So a nice read from Lego. I mean, they had the numbers technically to make a repush that should probably work, but just like exploiting the clumped up position of swedeRage meant they couldn't actually re-enter the fight, even though they had numbers. So a nice saving grace from Lego, but I mean, they need rounds at the moment. They don't need to just hold out on their last. They really need rounds at this point.
Yeah, it seems swedeRage are taking a book out of Lego's. A chapter out of Lego's book by actually running the sniper. This will slow down the game quite significantly. It makes you play a lot safer and having to do things. Just avoid those sightlines. Really cuts off a lot of options. Devik actually forces off the... Is he going to get out? Oh, thank God if he didn't get out. That would have been absolutely disgusting. I think that was an air shot coming out from Tech then to protect against the Josh bomb. But now they've got their own Uber. They're just waltzing in with it. Beezer comfortably pops it off with like loads of health to spare. F2 is being picked off. He's going to... Oh, wait, no, he survives by the skin of his teeth. And now they're finally pressuring that point. Oh, the big air shot from Tech to kind of slap down any sort of possible defense. And it is 4-0. This is actually quite resemblance of my prediction, Kaidus.
This was a really, really questionable pop from Condom. I'm not entirely sure what he Ubered for there, but I mean, that's what gave the game away. I mean, Tvik just jumped in. I mean, they used the sniper to make space. An exchange happened, and Tvik just jumped in and forced it. I don't really know. Condom had at least 100 when he popped, and I didn't see a rocket going near him, so I think that was a bit of a soft one.
Oh, Rib is absolutely crawling all over Dr. Phil at this point. He's got a huge amount of damage, and you can see a majority of these heals have to lay onto him. And what good use has he been? He's just taken a bunch of heals and then died for his cause. But what do I know? It seems like Lego is still making it work, it seems. Josh and F2 kind of just clawing it back for their team. The scouts staying alive, and that's all you really want in the mid-fight. Just keep them up. They can just kind of support those soldiers and push them out from that way.
Yeah, it's desperate times for Lego. I mean, they're 4 down, one more round, they are out of this map. So, I mean, a much needed mid-win. I mean, Tvik again got in relatively clean and actually got a frag along with Flippy. But I mean, this time the overall health and position was it stayed stronger for Lego. If we do see them immediately going on to second, I think BS survived, so we're seeing an even Uber situation. But I mean,
oh, Flippy's on that sniper, though. You must be feeling the pressure. You can see how they're all positioned. They're terrified of dealing with that sniper. Airon gets picked off. He's the only one that could try and squeeze in a way to get past that Flippy slight line. They do pop off the Uber, and they've actually picked off Flippy. This is great. They've even taken
really
out Beaven as well. They've even defended themselves with that Uber, and they're seeing if they can just pick off some more kills. Tech is in a horrible position. He's tried to cut his losses and go for the med bomb, but I don't think that's going to happen. Condom will survive for this day now. It seems the big plays will have to come out down to Tvik. Let's see what he can get done. He's just trying to do the walk-in bomb. He's almost doing it. He actually gets the kill onto Condom. That's all the heals cut off for Lego, and they're getting absolutely minced by this heavy weapons guy. And now they just have to back off. Airon is all the way back. And Josh is just caught up from the previous fight who died earlier, and this is going to be probably a very healthy push out for swedeRage.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake we probably wouldn't see Lego make if they had more time. I mean, Snakewater last is such a tricky one because you can never be 100% sure when the respawns are coming in. It's so easy just to get caught out by the respawn wave. Like, it just takes one player to do like a good play like we saw Tvik do there, like a lot of damage, one frag, maybe then some delay, and suddenly the respawns are in, and it's really hard to take a good position quickly on Snakewater last. Like, you see them coming in from lower, it's the fastest way, but you're on the low ground, so as soon as those spawns come in, they all have positional advantage on you. So I think if Lego weren't chasing a 4-0 deficit at the moment, they would have taken that slower and just played the Uber game because they did have advantage.
Well, yeah, Peter walking in with that advantage. He hasn't got it quite yet, and if you haven't got that Uber, it might as well be sitting at the nose end, but he has it now, so he's got that nice little safety net, even that aggressive option if he just really wants to key into the second point. But have they wasted too much time? It seems so. Condom has got his Uber, and they went in, sent in good old Tvik, see if he can make his magic happen yet again, but I don't think it's going to lightning isn't going to strike twice. Flippy does get picked off as well. They've exchanged Ubers in this kitchen area. There's been a lot more multi-in coming out from Condom, though, and Tech feels invincible, but he's got no invincibility on him, and Hellberg just abuses that, completely meat shots him down, and you see Lego just crawling all over this point. It seems like communication error there. One person wanted to back out, Kaidus, and one person wanted to go in.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, I guess Flippy went down. Tech felt like he probably had the better end of the exchange and wanted to capitalize on that, but with Flippy down, maybe some of his team felt like the safer play to make was to just play safe, get Flippy respawn, play a 6v6 game, losing mid, but I guess that's how it goes sometimes when you have all these different languages being spoken. It's hard to communicate things particularly quickly, especially when you're missing your loud Scouser, so...
Well, let's see if they can pull off a miracle defense of their own. We saw Lego do it towards that last, the first few minutes of the game. Maybe they can cap this off now, but they're sitting very comfortably. They've got 4-0 on the scoreboard, 7 minutes left on the clock. But it is quite possible for Lego to make this comeback, and we've seen comebacks like this before, Kaidus. Why can't Lego do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly possible. I mean, like you said, 7 minutes. If they can make this push work, if they can make this 4-1 now, if they just Ubered in, I mean, that's what, 6.5 minutes for 3 rounds. It's completely doable. Vic finds a headshot on Airon, and F2 gets like the entry frag. Oh, an entry frag on the sentry gun. But there's so much pressure on the point at the moment. It's such a huge mess. But I mean, the damage is definitely going the way of swedeRage at the moment as they will clump on the point. But they're just going to cap it. No, I don't know. Yes.
Yep, that was pretty much, they had to make that desperation play. It did look like it was going towards them for a second, but they always had that sort of one of two players not totally committing to that point, which is playing it quite smart. Yeah. And you can see they got that quite comfortably, and they had to do, I don't think, even if they did everything right there, swedeRage, I don't think they would have taken that round. I mean, that defense anyways. Yeah,
but the chase is on now. I mean, that's 1 round. They need 3 more at least in 6 minutes, so here they go. I mean, I'm not sure. Are we going to see them do more aggression on this mid? It looks like they may do with F2 immediately jumping up top, but Josh actually sneaks in behind as the rest are just clumping back. It's all on Josh here, really, to get something done. He's distracting so many players for so long, but the frags and health is just not going their way. I really feel like Josh did enough there. As we see, like, swedeRage now just cleaning everything up, but I mean, Josh had turned at least 3 eyes there, so I mean, technically that makes it, what, like a 5v3 fight on the other side, but somehow swedeRage still come out on top of that exchange.
I think pretty much when they adapted to Vic's sort of bomb, they had a lot more defensive posture, whilst over on swedeRage, when they were dealing with Josh, they were already on the point. They already had that point superiority over on Snakewater, and that just like little bit of raised high ground does make a huge difference in this game, as it has won them that mid fight. They are going to get an easy second point as well for just doing such a good job of it, I suppose. You can really abuse players of just push them out with it. They both have got their Ubers though, and a few picks have flown for each team. But it doesn't seem like they really want to risk it, this Lego squad. They want to back off to last. You see Tech is trying to get in. He's in on top of Condom. Oh, the saving Uber from Beta. This is going to be a fantastic Uber for swedeRage if they can just make it work. F2 has just gone in and commit, though. They've gone back and dealt with him, though. That's going to be also possibly a scout pick as well. Yep, Airon goes down. I don't know why he really committed there. But Dr. Phil is trying his best to just keep the rabble just like controlled and not pushing into the last. They're actually doing a wonderful counter I guess attack, taking out everybody. Tavik is respawned as sniper though. He's picked off Condom, so this is probably going to hold. Is that a back cap on last? There's a fight for the back cap. I need to rush off over to this. Flippy wins the back cap, but can he cap it in time? No, the 6 times cap coming out from Lego. Oh my god, that was so close, Kaidus. I don't know what TF2 is anymore. Every time I think one team is going to win, the other one wins.
That was such a ridiculous exchange. I mean, going all the way back to that Uber, I mean, the Uber from Lego was so poor. F2 made a really intelligent play. He just used the dregs of the Uber to go behind. The purpose of that was purely just to distract, to let Condom get out and let everyone survive. But then, for some reason, Airon rushed in, gave his life away, which to me signaled the end of Lego's chance on this map. But then somehow Lego just turned that fight completely around in like completely unwinnable situation and somehow won the deathmatch.
Oh god. Welcome to the meat grinder.
Holy.
swedeRage. They thought they could pull the wall over Lego's eye, seeing if they can just give them the old granary trick and just like push from the other end that they're pushing from and just backcap them, but they've just came back and just completely smushed them, Kaidus.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, they are rewarded mid-fight for their smushing. They even tried to cheekily send 2 players back to get that back cap, and the thing was, they were actually winning the majority of the fight. I think they would have got that if they just didn't get on the point so quickly. Her P take notes. Okay, let's see what is on the cards for swedeRage. They are still 4-1 up, and but F2 is kind of behind them. They're in a horrible position. They have nowhere to really get out at this point. Their base is between F2 right now, and he's got the health pack, he's got the high ground. Rib is trying to get at the bot, but the anti-air guns of Hellberg and Airon have his number. That is beaten down as well. There's no medic, no heals for this last point. It's just Tech. What can Tech do? Can he air shot through Uber? I don't think he can, Kato.
How did that happen?
That
was such a stretch sequence of play. Like, how did the Lego combo end up behind the swedeRage combo, with the swedeRage combo completely isolated from their entire team? I mean, I'm not sure what's going on at the moment, but if swedeRage go on to lose this map, they're going to look back at that situation and just think, what the hell have we done? Because if they lose this map now, if the comeback is on, then that's such a throw, because that was like, that didn't make any sense what I just witnessed.
Well, I guess they were dilly-dallying. They do have 2 minutes left. It is very, very possible. Every second feels like a million years in-game. Tech is being pressured awful a lot. I think they're tilting right now, Kaidus. Tvik does actually set the track straight by taking out Hellberg. Bevan even clean up the kill from an aggressive Josh. F2 does punish off Tvik. But Airon also gets cleaned up as well from this sort of sawmill side. F2's going in for the bomb, though. Can he wrap around onto top of Tech? It seems no. He gets kind of isolated or like kited around, and they're going to clean up this midpoint. They're going to get this second point, 4-3. They've got no Uber to defend this last as well. Beta stayed alive during that entire exchange. I think this is going to be the killing blow, Kaidus.
Yeah, I'm not really sure there's a way back into it for Lego now. I mean, unless swedeRage completely beef this push, lose all their players for no picks on Lego, I don't see any way of back in for this game for Lego now. There's less than 2 minutes. They need 2 rounds. They have to go the entire length of the map and then do it all over again. And I really just can't see that happening. I mean, this push is not going so great for swedeRage. Tech's really weak. Bevan's really weak. But they're finding 1, 2, now 3 frags, and I think this is probably going to be the 5-2. Maybe not. Maybe Lego can hold on, but at this point, it's taken so long. This fight, it doesn't even matter who wins at this point. They get the map is the map is going to swedeRage. They will cap out the 5th round, but we're into garbage time now. This is an unwinnable situation for Lego. It's 1-0 the series score to swedeRage.
Well, I guess we could humour both of the teams and keep casting, but I don't want to do that. Let's quickly go into the reasons why they think. We think, anyways, they did so poorly. What do you think you would have done better if you played this match, Kaidus?
I think the style that Lego are playing, I mean, to be fair to them, there is it's kind of this weird twist of the F2 Lego and the Josh Lego. I mean, they're 2 really distinct teams that went under the same name with some of the same players. And the F2 formations of Lego were always very slow and methodical, whereas the Josh Legos was all about getting onto your opponent and not giving them space to play. And here we kind of saw a bit of that from Lego, but there were still elements of the F2 game style, and what was lacking from that was there was too many mistakes. There was too many situations where Lego let the situation get away from them, and one pick, going 1 down led to going 2 down, led to going 3 down, and then suddenly they were being chased down to last. And these sorts of things, I mean, they didn't minimize the mistakes. And as well as that, if I was to highlight 2 things, it would be that and the mid fights. I mean, once you're down rounds, even if you're playing like a low-risk game, you need to win mids to make it work. Because if you're playing low-risk, defending second, defending last, you're going to be there forever, and you're not going to find rounds that way. And they just weren't winning mids. I mean, I'm not sure if we have logs or what, but I mean, I think they won. If I was going to guess, I think they won 1 mid out of 6 or 7, maybe 2. I think they won at most 2 mids, and about 6 or 7 happened, which is really not a good ratio.
Well, I want to point out the performance that really impressed me during that game was Tvik. Tvik, to say he's like a scout main, played phenomenal I thought on that Roma position. He just got these really good bombs. There was a time where it was just him on last. It looked completely hopeless for swedeRage for that round, and he somehow gets the damage in huge numbers for his team. Not just that medic pick, huge numbers.
And not just the damage, but he survived for so long as well. Because I mean, as much that play was incredible, but a vital part of it was delaying long enough to get a couple of respawners in to clean up the damage that he'd done. So even if he'd done all that damage but he died quickly, it still might not be enough. But the fact that his movement came into effect and he survived for so long, it's like the cherry on the cake, it just makes it like the perfect play in that situation.
Yeah, and it seems like but all the team members have done a very good job of just shaking off the rust of their last year. It seems, looking at Bevan, it doesn't look like he's aged at all in this game. He's just come back in and he's just played some TF2, and good God, he's just won the map that Lego picked.
Yeah. I mean, the real story of this game for me is kind of the Lego performance, because I mean, this was their map, they picked this, and they really weren't up to scratch. I mean, I'm not quite sure what was going wrong. I mean, it is a relatively, like, they've had some roster changes. I've only seen them in like practice games with this lineup, but I mean, they really struggled to keep it together. I mean, I feel like they were always going to get out deathmatched by swedeRage, but I expected them to be able to control the flow of the game better and not let swedeRage make it such a DM fest in so many occasions. But I guess the fact that they have Flippy and Vic able to snipe probably made it quite difficult for them. It's not something we really touched on that much in pre-game, and to be fair, we didn't really see that much sniping, but I think that's also a story of the game. The fact that we didn't really see Hellberg coming out on sniper, because even though he's a good sniper, quite a renowned sniper, he's completely outclassed when you consider Flippy and Vic on the other team. So I think in another game against another set of opponents without snipers, we would see Lego slow it down, play the sniper game, get the pick, then go potentially anyway, and it just wasn't really an option for them. Whereas against any other team, it probably would have been.
Yeah, you did talk about those two different styles of, you know, Josh's Lego and F2's Lego. If you had to pick one or the other, which one would you go with?
Well, I mean, the Josh Lego was probably it's historically the most successful one, but ultimately they don't. I don't really think. I'm not sure if they necessarily have the roster for it at the moment. I mean, when they lost Sorex, that was like a huge blow to that style of play, because he was like essentially he was a DM god. Like, they don't have anyone. To be fair, I don't think there was really anyone on the server today, let alone a Lego team who can deathmatch the way Sorex does on Scout. So I think if you don't have the players, you have to play it a bit more the F2 way, slightly slower, slightly more methodical. I mean, like I said, they're not gone the full mile. It's not like the full Lego, like just the slow games we used to see in seasons gone by. But yeah, I mean, I think they needed more of F2 in that game. Probably they needed it a bit slower, because they can't compete in terms of raw skill. The team play, they should be superior, but in terms of raw skill, I think they're outclassed here.
Well, while we are loading up the logs here, let's have a quick talk about their bans and picks. We didn't manage to really delve into that. Players got live just a little bit too soon. I believe the bans and picks were the first ban for swedeRage was actually Granary. And any sort of thoughts or like insight into why they made that ban?
On the surface, I find it quite a surprising one, because, like we said, they are a brand new roster. They've not practiced as much as some of the other teams here, so I expected them to kind of err more toward the common maps, especially like sometimes people don't consider Granary a common map anymore, but you have to remember some of these players are like old school. They haven't played for a while. I mean, Granary was the bread and butter probably back in some of their days. So I kind of was surprised by this ban until I considered the fact that the scouts are probably their main asset. Like Flippy and Bevan is probably their main asset, I'd say. Just because scouts rule TF2, so if you have good scouts, especially scouts that are better than the other teams, you probably want to get away from a map like Granary where soldiers kind of rule the game.
Yeah, do you think it was down to that scout, or do you think they just weren't confident in their soldiers? Is it not a map that Tech really particularly enjoys, or does Tavik just not know what to do as a roamer?
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I imagine I'm probably putting more thought into it than they did. They probably just scrimmed the map and said, we're not really playing well here. But I'm trying to unpick, maybe why they didn't play that well here. And I think it's probably down to the fact that the scouts and the sniping is a huge asset. Last on Granary, it's one of the only maps in the map pool where really sniper is just not a thing you can do between mid and second, or second to mid, or those kind of plays. So that's what I feel about that.
Well, Granary aside, the second ban for the Lego team was actually Viaduct, and I don't think we really need to break this down. Pretty much Flippy sniper. Let's move on.
And Twick, like, they can do either. Like, that's just one thing about it.
Tavik actually sniped on last map as well.
That's one thing about it. Like, one of the things that teams do is, like, they like to on Viaduct, they'll switch the classes around. So maybe if you have a scout that can snipe, then maybe your roamer goes scout. If you have a roamer that can scout, maybe one of your scouts goes roamers, things like that. It's one of the maps where once someone's sniping, the classes tend to change a little bit. So having two snipers playing from two different classes gives them so many options on that map. It's not a map I think anyone here wants to play. I'll be astounded if swedeRage get to play that map at this event.
Yeah, and it shows they're really not scared to make those off classes. I mean, Tech, in the first few minutes of the game, went Spy, and it pulled off wonders. I mean, they definitely didn't see that coming. Condom felt like more than assured. Anyway, moving on to the actual picks. Well, you already know what their picks are. We broke down Snakewater. Our next map will be Badlands. That was swedeRage's pick. What do you think is going to go on in this game, Kato?
I think this is going to be a good map for swedeRage. I mean, this is the map I expected them to play. It's going to be their home map. Like I said, they keep saying it. They're a new team, but Badlands is the holy grail of new teams. Like pretty much everyone can play Badlands. Doesn't matter if you're a brand new team. Like, there's so many established ways of playing it. You can just pick and choose the ones you want to do and tell your team those. And they've done them a million times already with different teams, different lineups. And they basically just instinctively know pretty much every situation back to back, like the back of their hand rather, on that map. So
So over on the Lego squad, you've just lost your pick, sort of thing, and you probably have doubts running through your mind. What do you need to do to mentally prepare yourself? Do you just need to completely put that map out of your mind and just count it down to luck, or
there's
make
no
drastic
point.
changes?
There's no point to think about the last map. I mean, they have to kind of address the mistakes they're making, possibly even slow things down a bit more. But I think what's really important for them is just to don't go behind so early. They went behind so early, and even before they went behind, they had situations where they could have gone behind. They defended last and things like that. I really think it's important they don't get wiped on mid. Condom can't die on mid. If like the roll starts to get going, they're going to be in trouble because they probably need to be able to slow it down a little bit, because Badlands it's just like everyone knows it so well. The game tends to be really fast paced, which means deathmatch and like just individual skill and like aim really comes into play. A lot more so than on Snakewater. So they really need to they have to control the game, and a big part of controlling the game is just not getting destroyed on mids, which was a big problem for them on Snake.
So say you're Lego here, and you've actually, you've pulled it back, you've decided what your mistakes were, you're rebuilding things, and you're actually winning Badlands somehow. They pull out the flippy sniper. What do you do in that situation, Kaidus?
On Badlands?
Yeah.
It depends on the situation. I mean, there's a lot of options. I mean, the biggest part of dealing with a sniper on Badlands is just reading it, expecting it in certain situations, because you can completely avoid the sightlines half the time as long as you're attentive to them. Like if you're pushing choke, if Flippy's died, or if your sniper has died and is respawning, he can be a sniper. So you obviously you'll go resup, and then as you're coming out of resup, you have to check to see if he's adjusted his angle and can see you coming out of resup, things like this. But the thing that's going to make that more difficult for Lego is they have two snipers, so it's two players to keep track of. Like when is he spawning? Is he spawning sniper? Things like this. It's just extra things to keep track of. But I think the key thing for Lego is there's going to be more options on mid. Like Badlands, like Snake's a bit of a one-dimensional mid. It's kind of just two walls of men, like kind of meeting in the middle, and whoever does it the best kind of wins. Whereas on Badlands, you can go house, you can go slope, you can go shit house, you can go under. Like you have just by default, like just different routes you can take with different players. I mean, obviously there's there's a million different ways you can approach all of these different routes, but I mean on Snake you only really have two routes, left and right, and even they're basically the same. Whereas on Badlands you just have by default you just have a lot of different drastically different ways to approach the mids, which is probably good for Lego because their mids so far haven't been impressive. So the fact they're going to have options and they can actually play a bit more of a kind of a tactical game on mid and read the opponent, it's probably going to be a strength they will have, especially with F2. It was it's something he's quite good at least was traditionally in the past, reading the you see way back in the day, you kind of saw Nox as the protege of F2.
Yeah.
When it was Nox and F2 as the combo, it was kind of Nox was getting his big break and things like that. So if you think how good is Nox at that sort of thing, F2 is where it all began, that kind of reading the game. F2 was one of the best there was. So I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen him play in a long time, but we'll see if he's still got it. But it's going to be a big thing on these mids, I think. Okay,
let's see. Is there anybody you can expect to do a big performance on Badlands? We did see that Tavik had a huge performance in Snakewater. Do you think there's any players that traditionally this is their map, this is their...
Well, on Badlands?
Yeah.
I think everyone. Everyone plays Badlands, man. I don't think there's anyone that can't play Badlands in TF2.
Well, maybe there's a certain player that particularly shines you at one point. I mean, you've been scrimming with these teams, Kaidus. Okay. Surely you played Badlands against one of these.
Rib on Badlands mid is one of the it's not probably his best mid, but I mean, he's really consistent in his rollouts, so he can make a decision about how he wants to approach the mid, and then he has the rollout to follow it up. A lot of demos are they roll out how they roll out, and then they're kind of stuck with how fast they are and are limited by that, whereas Rib will be the faster demo to these mids. He likes to play aggressive on the point and completely control the space on the mid. So I think Rib's going to be a key player on his mids, and we kind of saw it on Snake to an extent. He was putting a lot of pressure on Phil. He was opening things up for Bevan to get into Phil, we talked about that briefly. And on Badlands, it could actually be a lot of the same. I think that's probably going to be the biggest thing for Lego, is how they deal with this early play of Rib. I mean, Phil's going to be limited in his options. He's probably going to have to go Balk. If Lego are proficient rolling out through Shithouse, it's probably going to be an option they'll end up exploring if they can't deal with Rib any other way. But yeah, I think Rib's one of the men to watch. I mean, he hasn't played for a while, but the thing about Rib is he's just a quality player. It doesn't matter that he's maybe a bit rusty and not up to the pace. He just has quality, and you have to think how do you deal with Rib? He's not just someone you could ignore because he's not played the game for a while. If we don't see him being effective, it's because the other team is focusing him and making it hard for him to he's just a few steps behind the pace. So they're able to exploit that and keep him out of the game. But if they let Rib into the game on these Badlands mids, they're gonna have trouble.
So when it comes down to really isolating Rib, that's down to Josh. Do you think it's up to Josh to really do those sort of fast rollouts and meet Rib on that mid just as he turns up and just completely take him out of the game at the start, or do you think they can't just completely rely on that?
You can't completely rely on that. I mean, it is one option, but there's going to come a point where if you do it twice in a row, then the next mid, like, can you do it again? Are they going to, like, they will expect it, and either Rib's not going to be there and Josh is going to jump into nothing and just be a pick, or like, or he's in trouble basically. But even then, it's like it's not the only option. I mean, you can play it like the Numlocked way, or like, sorry, should I say the Epsilon way, where you just don't take the fight with Rib at the start. You play it slow from Valley. I think,
okay.
like, I mean, like Lego kind of have these, like, both of these options available to them. I mean, they can do the fast, like, aggressive Roma plays from Josh, or they can play it slower from Valley. I mean, that's what I was kind of saying before. You have a lot of options on Badlands that you don't necessarily have on other maps, and just completely different ways to approach it. And I don't know. If I was Lego, I would do a mixture of both. Like, they're going to have to switch it up and keep things fresh. Like, it's going to be too easy to adapt to such kind of, like, you know, such rigid strategy, like jump fast in the demo. Like, if it happens once or twice, then Rib's going to be somewhere else, and like everyone's going to be ready to kill Josh. So switching up is going to be important as much as how they actually play it.
So going into Badlands, it's another one of those maps that's really got a favourable last point. The fact that it caps really quickly and whatnot. Do you think, like, the Lego being quite prone to being defensive and whatnot, do you think they'll have like a superior defense? Is there a way to really, you know, hold Badlands 100% of the time? You know, if you just set the right conditions, or
on last?
Yeah.
It's not really one you can hold. It's probably one of the easier last to push because of the way the point plays. It's so, like, not easy, but it's so like you can expect at least a couple of rounds, maybe 1 or 2 rounds a game to kind of just happen because someone didn't watch lower left or something, and someone sneaks in and gets on the point and things like that. But yeah, it's definitely not one of the easier lasts to hold in the game, that's for sure. Are we going live?
Yeah, I believe we have gone live. Okay, if you're just joining us, this is our Dreamhack coverage. This is our second map. This is swedeRage versus Lego. And the first thing I'm seeing on mid, Kado, is Dr. Phil just waiting for his buff. They have decided to go that value rollout, and you see swedeRage have actually decided to get that high ground, and they're just waiting patiently to see what Lego can bring to the table. And it seems that all they can bring so far is a absolutely smashing, I guess, defeat. It seems even though they saw them coming, they knew exactly what to do. They kind of did a very good job of just like puncturing that defense from swedeRage. And now you see the Josh and I believe that's Hellberg kind of syncing up very well. Tavik does manage to get out though. That's very impressive by Tavik to kind of survive that in the end. But I don't think he's going to get much done with his life. So the middle will go towards Lego. What sort of defense will swedeRage craft to really hold on to the second point? On the bright side of things, though, both teams have lost their medics.
Yep, I mean, it's probably going to be basically a reset on second. I mean, they're playing far back at the moment. They're basically just regrouping with their numbers to make sure they have what they need to go forward without having people kind of holding the choke alone. But I mean, once they get 6, they should move up to choke. I mean, maybe there's like different spawn waves for the medics. Maybe Condom has a slight advantage or something. But no, they're moving up to the choke now. Just some indecision at the start, but yeah, they're holding choke now, and it looks like Lego are actually going to make a valley play. They're going to look for a pick on resup. It looks like they're jumping both soldiers through and around resup, and they're going to try and isolate Tvik. They kind of catch him out, but Tvik's able to kind of weasel his way out, and this play is unsuccessful, so they should now just go back. Now Flippy's actually on mid, which is kind of weird. They've left choke open somehow and completely exposed themselves to Flippy behind, and Flippy's causing so much distraction at the moment. It would be completely possible for Novage to follow up on that if they'd been in a position to do so, but it doesn't look like they are, and Airon might get. He takes down both scouts. That's such a huge mistake. Aizen was caught in. He couldn't really help it, but then Hellberg just kind of ran into the stickies, and Josh is actually taken down as well. So a really, really random play there. Like, Aizen probably shouldn't have been in, but I mean, it would have just been the scout for a scout trade, so it shouldn't have mattered that much. But they just run into Rib stickies, which is a really, really weird mistake to make. And it's almost a disaster for Lego, because I said, like, they really can't afford to go behind in this game. Losing mid like that, it's gonna hurt, like, emotionally, you know, psychologically. They're going to be sorry about that.
Oh, you see the Tavik bomb in. Oh, he goes for the air shot, but Condom with balls of steel doesn't dare pop. Even if he hit that air shot, I don't think it would have quite killed him. So very well held on by Condom there. Now they're going to strike while the iron is hot. Tavik is down, and they just pop in immediately. I don't know why they needed to pop in straight away. Maybe they're just scared of stickies, and they just need to get the show on the road. They do force out the Uber, and things have exchanged that so far. Beat has been sent up into the air as well, and you see all the players actually launching in from swedeRage, just trying to deal with that sort of, I guess, initial Uber in, but they couldn't quite hold their composure to kind of make that re-push happen. Flippy has to go all the way back. He almost gets picked off, or just survives by the skin of his teeth. Airon really wanted that, as you could tell, but the mid will go back to Lego. So in this first round, Kaidus.
Yeah, I mean, they're walking through truck now. I've kind of lost track of the Ubers again. Spec Cut's still not working. Sorry about that, gang. But I mean, Beta playing back on Baug, so we can assume that he's behind slightly. Conlon walking with 86, as I've just been shown. So they're kind of keeping control of Spy. But I actually see on the flank, Flippy's doing something. I think Flippy's met Josh and actually been pushed back. So really well played by Josh. I mean, the back cap, like the flank to mid with scouts, is one of the more common ways of holding Spy. And we kind of see Tvick at the moment should be going down on Spy. He's there completely alone. And if they don't kill him fast, they're going to regret it. But they actually find the frag, or he kills himself rather. And in the meantime, wow, pretty much the entire team's died. So going pretty well for Lego. They do get the Uber out, but I mean, an Uber for 4 players, and maybe if Flippy's going to go down as well.
It's just the Frenchies left. Tech does pick up the kill onto the... Oh, what an air shot! Baby Josh, the man who delivers, and now Tech is trying to get on top of that Spy, but I think that's a bit unwise against 5 players, Kaidus.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what swedeRage were kind of going for there. I mean, they probably...
Oh, nobody's watching bomb left! Has he capped that off? Oh, the game lagged for me slightly, but he has. He's taken the first round. We were talking about that bomb left, and people need to keep an eye on it, Kaidus, and it seems swedeRage weren't watching it. It seems we're in topsy-turvy land, Kaidus.
Yeah, that was a really, really important round for Lego. Like, to get on the scoreboard early, to take the lead, I mean, it's exactly what they need. Like, coming like into this map, like, down 1, they really need that. And I mean, are they going to go for Valley again? Was that an intentional play? Phil again is walking Valley, so yeah, this was actually an intentional play. It wasn't just a failed rollout.
Well, F2 is the first one to take the brunt of that force. He does survive with just a shimmer of health. His team is trying to back him up. There is a few things going towards him, but oh my god, Condom just got absolutely minced there. He seems like the first one into that little fight, and you could tell just by the corpse he's left on that ground. Tavik is the only one really like in the fight so far. He does get out by the skin of his teeth. No one's really chasing him. They have to recap mid in team. Actually, they spent so much time getting some presence on mid. I just noticed that they capped the midpoint. So Lego do cap that off. They tried to send someone behind to see if they can get that capture point as well. I've gone to the wrong point. And the fight is still happening. They're just kind of seeing if they can weasel the way in. Just I guess steal away this cap right under their fingertips. But you can just really see the heal advantage just playing dividends for swedeRage, and sitting at about 20% over on Beta. Meanwhile, Condom has just respawned, so he's not going to have that Uber just quite as fast as Beta is going to have it. They take this fight in second anyway. swedeRage, they see the defenseless Hellboy try to focus him down, but they can't quite finish him off. And they're backing off, and now they really want to get this Spy there, and there's no pick so far. Here's the first pick. F2 goes down, but Hellberg gets the pick onto Rib. That's a huge kill for them, and Hellberg even gets a bonus kill onto Beta. It's horrible news. Now they just need to try and force Condom, it seems, but Condom is snug in his base. I don't think he's going to force it anytime soon, unless Beta gets behind him. He has been forced outside. Where is the sync play? Tech is busy capping the point. He could have definitely gone on to
Jump
it,
Tech, please!
Flippy's gone in. Why is he spamming point? If he caps this point, maybe he can kind of see where he's coming from, but all they've done is waste time. They could have potentially won the round with that.
If he had jumped, there was just a cluster of Lego players. 3 rockets could have killed 4 people. It would have been just a meat grinder. It was so set up.
Rib is going, and he wants to really defend the second point, not have Tech's ability going to waste, but waste it has. Eyes on his cop that off. Flippy's tried to go in. The Uber was forced by Flippy. Condom has been brought down quite low, but this won't halt the push. You actually see Josh is already fighting the combo on this midpoint, kind of creating room for his team. Tech is holding on to this point because he knows he does have that slight respawn advantage. In the meantime, I did lose track. Beta sitting on about 70% over on Condom is just 40 though, so they know they can't really sustain this attack. They will eventually get this Uber above them.
They're giving them a lot of ground for free at the moment, though. I mean, swedeRage don't have that Uber yet. Like, it's not an Uber advantage. An Uber advantage isn't a threat until it becomes an Uber. Like, when you're 30% behind still, I don't really think Lego should be letting them into the choke so easy, because now they're on Spy and now they're getting Uber. They can actually use this like relatively marginal advantage, like to their advantage if they get in.
Tech has popped in. He's used the Uber. He's trying to go aggressive onto Condom, but Condom's giving him the slip. They do have to deal with a trade from Airon. Very well played by Airon there. A bit of MGE with, it seems, Josh and Tavik fighting for that point. F2 does get the kill onto him, though. Bees has caught him no man's lands, though. Oh, no, it's the previous generation. Bees Medic versus F2 Soldier. Can he learn anything from the Master? It seems he has. F2 has been taken out, but it was for the help of Flippy. They're still trying to fight for this Spire, Kaidus. Good God, well, the team's not letting me have a breath. No, they keep fighting. They keep sending more and more people in. The Uber's been forced off by Tech. Tech is trying to get out. Will he get out? Oh, the pipe. Oh, it got him. It just got him by the... just like nipple hairs, it seems. And will they see if they could just push in from this choke, lay waste to that fact that they have got a slight pick advantage, and they have actually punished Josh heavily for them going in dry there. Airon gets picked off as well. F2 decides to back off, so does Condom. Finally, oh wait, no, of course they're going to make another push. We're still going on this ride. The train never stops, baby. The push keeps going. Tavik is capping that point, and they're going to, of course, they're going to respond to this. Oh no, they're actually backing off.
They should get the Spire for free. I mean, the numbers are respawning for Lego, but they're not there yet. And I mean, Bia definitely has Uber ready, and Lego do not. So if they contested that fight with the players they had, it could have been a complete roller coaster, and they just end up losing last. I think if they play this, like if they slow this down, like Phil with Sticky's forward picking Beaven is going to help a lot. I think if they're slowing it down, they're going to be able to just get Uber on last, and Tavik actually going down as well. So now they're 2 down, and Lego are in a weird situation, like where there's 2 down, you kind of want to push, but you kind of don't want to push because it's risky. If I was them, I would just try and play for a force at the moment.
No, oh no, nobody was. F2 didn't check his corners. Flippy's got behind. He's probably screaming to his team, block that point, block that point. He's got the cap. It's 1-1.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. In that situation, it's so risky just to straight up push because I mean, there's no way you can cap Spire fast. There's going to be an Uber trade if it comes to it. I probably would have been more interested to see them like use those numbers to go for a pick, or to go for a force. Like use like number of items you have to throw your bodies and get the force, and then slow it down, get Uber, and then go again. Especially since they're in the lead, like they have the time to make these plays. So we're back on another mid now, though.
All right, going into our third mid so far, you can see the dominance of Rib has just completely opened up the fight for them. They've only got this one avenue, and that avenue has been smashed by Flippy. Josh has been taken out. Airon does get the pick onto Rib, though, but good God, he's done so much damage. He's died for the cause, and Tavik is prepping forward. This is going to be an easy mid, an even easier second point, and it seems the game is back under swedeRage's control.
Really have to wonder what Hellberg was doing, because I mean, I didn't even see Phil on that mid. Maybe he was just slightly out of our camera, but like if Phil is not there supporting Hellberg against Rib, you can't play that. You can't go up slope and jump on the point. He's going to destroy you every time, at least 99 times out of 100. He will just destroy you if there's not a demo pressuring him and making him like have a demo fight. If there's no demo on the point, Rib will do that to you every time. So hopefully Hellberg learns his lesson. We do see the Uber popped in. The Uber's traded, in fact. I didn't notice that Condom actually survived, so that might be the saving grace here. But oh my God, click on the point. That was way too
Is anyone
close.
keeping an eye on Beaven? Oh, they dab finally, but he has taken the kill from them. And look at all these pipes just rolling in onto the point, trying to get them off there. It's just 2 poor little soldiers, and they're on the low ground. Rib is doing so well to just juke them. Oh, the direct rockets hold true, though. Josh comes through with his team, but Tech is going to come through his. No, the respawn from Dr. Phil just defends that point in time. Maybe they can just breathe a sigh of relief for just a few seconds, Kaidus, as they will have to just deal with a failed last push for now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid defense. Phil was actually... I've seen Phil make a few of these plays. These clutch like respawn and get the cleanup frags and save the day. I've seen a couple of them from him lately in kind of the last games of the season. It was like becoming the Phil trademark. He's moved out of the pipe above the point and into the respawn. But anyway, enough of whatever that was. How are the Ubers sitting? Can you show me that?
Let's have a look at these Ubers. We are still dealing with the fact that we've got no spectator hood, so I'd like to think we're quite impressive in our role. They've got the crits creep. We didn't see that coming, and neither did Lego. They've taken out the pick onto F2. They've got Airon. They've got Dr. Phil. Josh does get Flippy, though, but they've already got a scout on that cap point. It's 2-1. I guess it's one of the rare moments where you actually see crits pulling through.
Yep. Yeah, as Rib boys, you can trust Rib with them. Not many demos these days are that comfortable with the crits, with the reduced radius. Ever since that, you don't see that many demos asking for crits, but Rib's definitely comfortable, and yeah, 3 immediate frags there, wins the round for his team, and that brings the score to 2-1, so it's swedeRage back ahead.
All right. Again, the same sort of mids coming out from both teams. They keep going this Valley rollout, but if it keeps working, they immediately get 2 picks. Devic's going to get picked off. He does get Phil, but I don't think that's quite enough to kind of say you've lost the middle. So they're going to get the ×2 cap already. They're rolling onto second. Seeing if they can get the pick onto Beta. Beta's already inside the safety is base there, but not Vib. He's been picked off. So that's just going to keep the push train going. And Tech is trying to actually hold his ground, taking the exchange. It could have been a very hairy there if some of LEGO support kind of went on to Tech. But I guess all's well that ends well, at least for now.
Yep. So LEGO going to have a crack at last. I mean, the Pyro's up. The Uber's not there for... is the Uber there?
Yeah. Both teams have Uber so far.
So the Pyro's throwing me. So they're going with the Pyro defense. That's going to be really, really annoying. This is something that Flippy used to do in Nerd Rage as well. He's bringing it over to swedeRage, where he would go Pyro in even Uber situations. So he basically... He puts the onus onto LEGO now to make sack plays and make kind of more creative plays, because any kind of Uber trade they try is just not going to work, because the Pyro is going to reflect the Uber. It's going to be an awful Uber, and then Flippy's team have Uber to work with to push out however they want.
But they've noticed the mistake. They've got all those players stacked up on that right-hand side there. They've only got poor little Devic, and Devic has been killed on this left-hand side. Why? Yeah, they could just walk in. Then walk in. They've used the... Wait, they killed Devic on the left-hand side, but decided to push into right anyway. Okay, well, either way, they've gone into the meat grinder, and the meat grinder is tearing them a whole new... I guess, orifice, but nobody's paying attention to the cap. Maybe it was all the distraction play, but the distraction play just didn't distract enough. Airon does get cleaned up on that kill. The fast reactions of these Prem players. What on earth were LEGO thinking there?
They'll be kicking themselves. I mean, they had that. They got the pick on Vic. They got another pick onto Flippy, and then the Ubers were traded for 6v4, and they actually killed Rib during that. So, I mean, once Rib goes down, the point's wide open, but for some reason, they just decided to take this weird kind of 3v5 fight on top left, where there's just one choke where swedeRage could just spam them down. They should, if they just focused the point, backed out, rotated, focused the point. Rib had like a 20-second respawn time. He was never getting up in time to defend the point, so a real missed opportunity for LEGO. They will not be happy with that one.
It's going from bad to worse, as they did try to defend off that second point. Dedicated Phil, he got picked off, and now that's just led them to the superior force just pushed out LEGO there, and they're just going to hold on to that midpoint now. And Tavik has actually gone in. He's capping the point, distracting the enemy team. He's actually gone in for the bomb, but just craters to his death. Rest in peace to Vic. None of his team decided to really go off that. Although Tech did try, but he's been heavily punished for it. Oh no, the Uber's been popped off, and there's only Rib left. He does kill Airon there, but look at all these LEGO players fluttering around him. They want the tasty beta kill. They get the tasty beta kill, but nobody sees Beaven. Oh, they do see Beaven. They see him right in front of his crosshair. Easily cleaned up. I thought Beaven was going to do a huge amount of damage there. Where's Flippy during all this, though? He's just hiding about on second point. He's going for the back cap, it seems. But will they just sack all their players on top of this point?
I think they have a respawner coming in. I think Aizen's going to try and deal with it. It looks like they do send some numbers back, but they're really, really stretched out. They're definitely going to kill Flippy, but the question is, what happens on middle? Okay, Hellberg leaves middle. I was going to say, they'd left Hellberg capping middle, but he's got out. He survived. So now they have a slight number advantage, but I mean, with that cap time on 2, it's going to be really, really difficult to make a push here. I mean, did I see a sniper up for blue team? No, I didn't. I think that was... Maybe something in respawn, but either way,
maybe he just saw Flippy's name and he's like, oh, that's probably Sniper, yeah.
But either way, even with the numbers they have, LEGO really can't welcome this. The cap time on Spire is too much. Like, the flanking potential will be too much. So they're going to Uber in.
Dr. Phil, good God, he is being floated up in the air. You'd think a heavy weapons guy is keeping him up in the air. They do get a lot of cut time during this point. They've taken out Rib, they've taken out a Big. Flippy's gone down as well. They're still trying to hold on to this. They want to Uber in. Tech is just like begging for it, but they decide against it. Almost Josh wrapped around there. They actually get the Josh kill, but Beaven gets punished for it, turning his back towards the big I guess, like combo of LEGO, and now they're just riding this wave all the way to last. Condom is setting about 35%, but keep in mind, Beta still has a Zuba. Why? I don't know why they're pushing so close. Condom's like, oh yeah, the Uber, we should go back.
Over the top. Aison's over the top, he's on last, he's going to get it.
He's got it.
It's Hellberg, not Aison, my bad.
Wow, this is just a game of backcaps, it seems, Kaidus. Nobody just wants to play some good old-fashioned TF2. It's just all these EU gimmicks. Oh, disgusting.
I was worried. I mean, Beta was always going to have to use that Uber at some point, but chasing with it wasn't the best option. I think they had to just consider that Uber was a write-off. they were going to have to use to save last, but to chase was way too risky. Like the respawns weren't in yet. To chase without Uber and go for frags, it just leaves the point open. 1v1 on last, and Hellberg wins it. Hellberg coming up clutch for his team there.
It is 2-2 so far. This is our 5th round, and they're still going this Valley Roller, and surely they've adapted. Yes, they have. Look at the rest of swedeRage now, completely minting the enemy team. It's just eyes on left. He wants to get the consolation rib kill. He does get that. He's walking away with his prize, though. Can he put it into his trophy cabinet, though, is another question. Airon is just on low HP. He can't die now. Oh, he died. That's not going to... I guess, well, they have to waste some time on the second point if they... so I don't think they'll really feel the huge sting of Airon going down there. But if they delayed it a bit longer, I think we potentially would have saw a 6v5 situation at last. Oh, actually, Dr. Phil holding on to that doorway. He actually takes out Tech. And but they still want to press on with this. They've actually used the Uber to just get in there. And Tavik's launched in. He's trying to get some damage in, but he's been kited so well. He's been killed. Another scout's kind of been kited around. Rib is finally joined back into the fight, and he's taken out one player. They haven't really got the sustain or the, well, not the sustain, more like the player numbers to kind of just keep going. Beta used that Uber on the doorway. He's going to be sitting at a 28% now, while over on the Lego side of things is... that's going to be happening, but we do have a spy coming in. Oh, wait, did they notice there? There was a rocket jump, but I'm not sure. I think Josh was like, oh, no, not again. Not like this. Not like this. Oh, Flippy gets the condom kill yet again. That back just seems to stretch on for infinite proportions, and he will drop. And this is probably going to be the easiest push of the life. They've actually used the Uber very early again. They just want to get in there, claim their last point for free.
Just went like full YOLO, man. They lost their medic, and just every single player just picked a door and just went, you know what, let's just go. We're lost anyway.
Panic.
Yeah, they just all went. Like I looked at last, there's just no one there. There's not a single player on last.
Well, I guess it's like the emergency forward hold. I'm sure there's a big button on all the land screen where they're just like smashing that. It's like Condom has dropped yet again. Evasive maneuvers. Well, going into this point, it's finally going towards the way of swedeRage, as we predicted. 3-2 the score so far. We saw David going aggressive. He gets cleaned up, though. He doesn't quite get much accomplished. Condom is brought down low, and it has distracted a lot of players. I don't think the fact that Condom was staying inside couldn't really heal his team, and they wasted all that ammo onto Vic, and they just didn't have enough to make the fight across the point. All right, to Vic. Oh, no, Tech is actually going for the kill onto Condom. He does pick up the health pack, and somebody's trying to find him. Flippy. No one expects Flippy to be there. Good God, that is so scary. Condom's like, what do I do? I die. That's what I do.
Took him a while, though. I mean, Flippy hit the 100 the first shot, and then it was 6 shots later. He actually got him, so...
It's actually probably a little bit worse, because he's going to get potentially a longer respawn.
Yeah, it's a tactical delay. Flippy was just pretending to miss.
Yeah, it's playing with your food, man. Oh, no, again, oh... I thought they were going to cap that point again. This point has been so devilish for Badlands. It's been around in the game for 8 years that the teams would figure out we need to defend the point. That is the objective here.
Yeah, that play was kind of senseless from Flippy, though. I mean, the point was open for a second, but I mean, there were so many players around. Giving away a frag there was probably well, not so wise, because I mean, they're going to have a big Uber advantage, and if you just have 6 guys and just main control, when you have big Uber advantage going toward last, if you're just maintaining control of the game all the time. And he actually just died again on Spy, so Flippy just dying over and over again. I'm not sure, why is he going for these plays? Didn't he just killed the medic and Beta has advantage, right?
I guess when I guess when you kill somebody as Spy, you're just feeling pretty good, and you're like, this is a pretty fun class. You know what, guys, I want to play Highlander. So Tech does go down, trying to get in the way. Oh, good God. They're just trying to force it way too much. They haven't got the Uber. No, not again. For the love of God, will somebody watch the point?
That was such a, it was really, really nice play from the Lego Scouts there. Like, Airon with 2, maybe even 3, and Hellberg coming in, and they were combining for all of them, like assists, like scouts assisting scouts. So that was a really nice play, but yep, the back cap again. It's the story of this game so far.
Has every single cap been a back cap so far? No, I think there's been like 1 legitimate cap.
Maybe.
But, well, going into another mid-fight, they've actually decided not to go Valley for once, and I think they're maybe heavily regretting that decision. They're being absolutely minced. I think they're just going with the tried tradition of if it doesn't work that time, we have to change, but they've just changed into something worse. I think they didn't even manage to get a pick that game. Oh, wait, no, they got the pick onto the Vic, but that's probably expected. He does go very aggressive into that game. Condom does survive, though, so he will hold on to that little bit of Uber, but he's going to
be behind, though,
Yeah, had no one to heal, though, so he'll be sitting on about 55%, while over on Beta, as I scroll
This is
over
questionable from
86.
swedeRage here to climb Spire, because they know that no one was alive to hold forward lobby. They know Condom wasn't building. I'm really surprised they didn't just take over lobby immediately and look to go as fast as possible. Because I mean, they're pushing now.
Okay.
They're Uber in. They know that they have disadvantage potentially, but they're taking such a slow route. They kill the Pyro, but I mean, the Uber's probably going to come up for Condom at this rate because they took so long to get in. And in fact, it does. So they were kicking themselves for that mistake, climbing Spire when they should have just rushed, made a beeline.
Oh, it's Flippy. Flippy's
they not
hiding.
see
He's
him?
gone to the
No
point.
way.
No, for God's sake!
That was ridiculous.
I just want to leave the booth.
But that was so
please.
good. He just hid behind the pillar. I mean,
I know.
I swear,
Yeah,
a scout even checked the stairs. He was looking stairs. I think someone called. They saw a scout there. So I'm not sure who it was. They were checking the stairs to see if they could see him. I think it was Airon.
It seems like the tactic so far is just to like kill as little people as possible and just trying to like bait them, into some sort of push out, and then Flippy just creatively goes in. It was a nice use of the, I guess, the pillar to hide himself, like you said. Beaver and get an entry kill before he could even start off this middle, and oh my God, it's an absolute bloodbath. They're just completely mincing them, cleaning up all these kills. Airon is the only one live. He is building Uber with his medic, but Flippy doesn't care. He doesn't care that Airon has a fully buffed thing. Condom does scale back. I think he holds on to his Uber from just, he's got that good old medic bind. Still, we're allowed to do that in the EU. Suck it, NA. Well, easy second point for swedeRage. They're fully in the, I guess the control panel. Everything's going their way. This is their history book right now. Everyone's going to say this is the bloodbath, the starting point for their Dreamhack takeover, and swedeRage sitting up comfortably on this matchup so far. With 6 minutes left on the clock as well. They're taking their time with this. On top of that, Hellberg does get the pick onto Flippy, but Tavig sees that as a sign to get in, and Condom just pops in very, very early there. He was just terrified. He just doesn't want to drop again. He doesn't want to disappoint his teammates.
I think it was the fact that there's the sheer numbers they got on him, and if he drops that Uber, it's basically game over. I can kind of see a little bit more why he popped that one, especially since they were guaranteed frags, so they at least have options.
Oh, no.
Not the best options, mind you, but they at least have options. But Tech is just beasting on last. What on earth is going on? He's on the high ground and no one can touch him. Frags have just been decimated, but Spire's actually getting back capped. I think, I can't see that fight, but I stopped capping suddenly, and I don't know what's going on, TurboTabs.
Tavik went behind to deal with that back cap, and now they're just trying to cap it in front of Rib wins the 1v1 fight, and that's the point. That is 5 minutes left on the clock. Mathematically, it's still possible, Kato.
Possible, but I think this game's too far gone for Lego now. I mean, looking at their faces, they don't look so happy.
Right, spoilers. Well, I'm sure this is that's the face of pure concentration over there on the booth. They know they're making the sweep comeback right now, and the comeback begins in this mid. We are in our, I believe, our 8th middle. This has been quite action-packed to say. It's been a Lego game featuring F2, but oh god, it seems though the action pack is coming out from actually it's quite well exchanged. Lego win this, so I guess the comeback will start now.
Potentially, I mean, like this game, even though the score is kind of getting away from Lego at the moment, this game has been more competitive than the last one. It's just the last couple of rounds have just kind of snuck away. But I mean, if you think we were at 2-2 at one stage, this game was close. It's just it's creeping away from Lego, but I mean they're more than capable of pulling us back. I mean, well, it's going to be a tough ask, but I mean they're more than capable of staying competitive in this match. But they really need to get on with it, though. They have to like make tracks now and speed up everything and just go for it all the time.
And meanwhile, while they're trying to lift up a gear, it seems the road block, the road stop, I don't know, some sort of like slowing presence in the shape of Tavik's sniper. He's taken off a pick.
They're doing
so
the full
far,
wrap as well.
Yeah, they're actually capping the point. Have you ever wrapped
this
so hard?
This is a huge mistake, man. Like.
Oh man, how did they not think that they would not defend that? Meanwhile, Tavik got a casual pick onto Condom, you know, just as you do, and they're backcapping second. I think they're trying to launch play. I see a random corpse there trying to get onto the point, and he just gets completely picked off in the sky.
So who's even
it's
alive
only
right
Airon, but everyone's like, what could Airon possibly do to win the game? He could go and backcap us. We have kept an eye on that backcap. So they cap off mid, they deny that possibility of a back cap. It's just Josh left. I think it might as well be what you like to call garbage time.
Yeah, it is. We're into it. But it's interesting that play is how it ends, because I observed this earlier in the game. Do you remember when Lego went for this? They went for a double soldier bomb onto Resup to try and catch someone out. And at that moment, Flippy actually pushed into mid and started backcapping. And I questioned, like, why did Lego not have anyone on choke? Like, even if you're pushing Resup or making a play on Resup, you still have to control all of that, like the map. They completely give up map control when they go for these plays. Like, they don't even get calls. Like, never mind like losing a player or something like that. Like, they're not even getting there's no one even there to like spot and say, okay, guys, they're pushing mid like behind you. So like Lego don't get the information until they see time on the point. Like there should be someone just playing passive and choke. Like if he's contested by one guy or more or a buffed player, just give it up. Like give the call to your team and play safe, survive, and then you give them so much more time to react. But they just didn't do that. So in vital moments of that game, it really cost them. Just like these small kind of mistakes.
And I feel so devastated. The one thing I gave Lego is like, hey, they're a defensive team. I'm sure they're efficient at watching that bomb left, you know, stopping those back caps. And good God, there was back caps everywhere, Kaidus. Like, who's to blame here? I want answers.
Well, I mean, it's
one of them was really creative. I don't think we could deny that.
One of them was really cool. I mean, possible you could point a finger at one of the Lego scouts of that one. I'm not sure entirely which scout it was because I couldn't see. It was Hellburger Eisen didn't check that area properly, but I mean, props to Flippy. I mean, you can't really blame them for that. I mean, some of them, I mean, there was the push out that Lego made where I said, like, I'd probably rather see them go for a sack here rather than a push because it's just so risky, and Flippy just snuck in from bottom left. I mean, I think probably if you're going to make a push off of last in that situation, you have to leave someone on last. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a calls problem, if this is something they've discussed, like should the Roma stay on last, does whoever's main calling, whether it's F2 or someone in the combo, whoever's controlling the combo, maybe they want to, I'm not sure who's making these calls for Lego, but someone should be probably making the call that Josh should stay on last there, whether it's Josh himself or someone else, I don't know.
Well, this is one of the rare moments in TF2 we actually get to see, we already know the game is over just from this standpoint as the caster desk, but we also get to see live the player reactions of just getting up right now, at least in our eyes, Kaidus. And I guess Lego, they don't look too pleased.
No, they're not too pleased, but I mean, I don't think they're going to take this too hard. I mean, it's a high skill caliber that they're playing. I mean, they probably needed some experience playing this team. I mean, this is only the upper bracket. They're still going to have, like, they're probably going to, well, quite potentially going to face them again later in the tournament. And next time they're going to have a better idea of what they're going up against. Because I think this was part of the thing about this game. It's like a learning experience because these teams don't really know each other. And it was kind of just clash head to head. Whoever wins, wins. But next time, there's going to be, like, empirical data both these teams have. They can, like, kind of analyze what happened and actually, like, make the tactical decisions on how to approach it differently. And I think that's going to play into Lego's strengths because, like, Lego are probably the more organized, the more disciplined, and the more kind of, like, strategically oriented team. So in the second encounter, if there is one, I think, like, Lego probably won't feel too bad about this now because they know they kind of have something to build on now, whereas swedeRage probably going to play exactly the same next time.
Well, the GGs have been called for a few member of the players. We all just dying down this last minute of the TED time. That is 20 seconds left. So you talk about these mistakes and the fact that these what they can make up on. You're playing in this tournament yourself, Kaidus. What have you gathered from both of these teams? These first impressions, what have they told you?
To be honest, I've learned probably more about Lego than I have learned about swedeRage here because I feel like a lot of what swedeRage were doing, like they were in control of most of the game, like both maps, like most of the time. But I'd say I learned more about Lego probably with like the areas like they're completely missing like areas to watch. Like they're just not watching areas like they should be watching at certain times. They're not like, kind of evacuating scenes together. Like if they lose one or two, they're quite like you described them as I don't know, lingering or dilly-dallying, whatever it was. Like they just kind of they take too long to leave areas they have no right to be in anymore. And these are all things that swedeRage exploited quite effectively.
Well, that was quite the upset. If you have just joined us, that was our coverage of swedeRage versus Lego. But don't worry, we have got this captured on the VOD. We will have this over on our YouTube channel. If you want to message us anything about this game, maybe we could even talk about that tweet you've sent. We've got a Twitter. You can just find that over on twitter.teamfortress.tv. But I want to just quickly say thank you, Kaidus, for joining me on this cast. You've been very, very insightful. It's been a pleasure doing this cast with you. We will bring Sideshow back onto the panel. I guess our limited, tiny desktop panel, but a panel nonetheless.
All right, thanks for having me, gang.
Okay.
Yo, hello. How are you guys doing?
Well, we've had a few technical difficulties here and there, but it's TF2, man. You know, we deal with it.
The technical difficulties is what I've come on to talk about as well. We've got an issue with one of our PCs, the PC that was in the game, broadcasting stuff to you guys. little bit temperamental. That was the one that we had really kindly given to us by TT Esports. Canfo, who's here at his place.
I'm sure it's not their fault though. It has to be our monkey hands.
Absolutely. In fact, I think I did it. I think I probably spilt like a Pepsi in there or something.
Yeah, I know. I saw you that.
Yeah.
Delicious plug though.
Yeah, delicious plug for our soda sponsor. Yeah, but we're going to be going to a break now because we need to swap that PC out and swap another one in because we've been having some issues with the in-game audio, as I'm sure you've realized. So we finished that fixture up, but we're going to be coming at you with Reason Gaming versus publicleg.se, but that game is going to be slightly delayed because we're going to have to swap a PC in and set David the Win up with his cameraman skills, you know, and he does have the skills.
Oh, he has the skills that can kill.
Absolutely, and it's a pity to you know, tarnish his skills with a PC that is a bit dodgy.
We also have a few caster things as well, but we'll get those sorted in the background as well. This is just like, you know, this is our first game, and everything will hopefully be ironed out at the edge here.
It absolutely will. That was Tech's little monkey face he saw pop up there. But
God damn it.
We're going to be going to a break now, and we're going to be swapping that PC out. Might take us a little while, but we'll be back as soon as we possibly can with our next fixture. So we will catch you later.
Don't go anywhere.